deaf of the point he didn't want to come outside. I didn't understand it because I'm from downtown. You heard? We had our own set of killers. Dame Impact in Harlem was nothing. Not to say it like that. Dame came up under hustlers that Impact was it. He was a little dude when it came to hustling in Harlem. He wasn't not no Rich Porter, none of that type of. He wanted to hustle. He wanted to hustle for niggas like Rich Porter and that. Dame from the East Side. When the niggas on the East Side is different from the niggas from the West Side. Now for the East Side, Dame was a big deal to us because we were little and he was coming from the West Side, little car, jewelry, and all that. So when you're young, he's looking like Rich Porter, but in reality, he was like this nigga, go to the store, nigga, take a couple grams, get out of here.
When you cancel out the street side of it and go into the music business of it, what was his impact with Dipset at that time?
He didn't have no impact with Dipset. Dipset, we made our impact on our own.
When y'all came over to Rockefeller, did y'all bring a certain energy that kind of ruffled the feathers of like state property and people like that?
When we came over to Rockefeller, it was all love. Everybody in the studios doing music, state property, Bleak and Diplomats. Everybody was doing music that started until they went through all that damn shit.
The Jewel said Cam took over the rock, huh?
I mean, in that sense, Mace was talented. He was a dancer. And Mace didn't excel at the rapping really to after high school. They started getting on it. And then he excelled and then started getting on first and signed first, and then now help Cam and everybody get on this. Well, as far as making a name for themselves in the street, nobody had a name in the street like that.
Big
name?
Big L.
Right. Big L had a name for himself. He was rapping early, he was signed early, he had some danger brothers.
That was Cam said.
They was uptown really shaking and moving. You dig? And that's not my part of town. That was uptown. You dig? Yeah, Cam used to be scared to death of them niggas to the point he didn't want to come outside. I didn't understand it because I'm from downtown. You heard? We had our own set of.
Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I had to tap in on this one because it seriously caught my attention. And when I saw that clip, I immediately thought, nah, there's no way Kim just sits back on this. I was low-key expecting Dame Dash to jump in too. Honestly, with everything going on, I figured someone else might throw their hat in the ring. I even thought 50 Cent might pop up. I said, let's just sit back and watch how this all unfolds. Next thing you know, Cam hops on Instagram and fires off a message. He says, why are you worried about me when your heat's off and your rent is due? Then he adds that it was supposedly 7 degrees in the Bronx last night. I'm sitting there like, hold up, who exactly is that aimed at? At first, I thought maybe he was speaking generally because other clips from the new Revolt episode were circulating. So I'm asking myself, who is he really targeting here? In my head, I'm thinking Jim Jones, but Cam didn't drop a name. He left it open-ended, really slick with it. But not too long after, 50 Cent reposted and adds his own twist, saying, damn, I hope y'all can chip in and get the heat turned back on. Once that happened, it became crystal clear. They were talking about Jim Jones, especially since 50's been tossing those squatter jokes and rent not paid narratives for a minute now. If you know how this industry works, you know exactly what time it is. People talk, sides get chosen, and info circulates behind the scenes. That's just how this game moves, bro. If you've been around it, none of this should shock you. And let's be real, it's a small world. Word travels fast. Somebody's always talking, somebody's always snitching. Now, I don't know if any of this is 100% true. We can't confirm that part. But based on what was said, I'm low-key expecting Dame Dash to weigh in at some point, especially with all that little guy talk floating around. Nobody wants that label. And Jim Jones, from the way he's moving, is just letting everything fly. He's keeping it 100 from his perspective. This is how he saw it. This is his truth. But we all know how this goes, whether in this game or in life. There are words you don't want attached to your name. Certain labels you don't want thrown out on a major platform. And the people involved, they all got egos, big egos. Every man instinctively thinks, hold up, what exactly are you trying to say about me? Jim Jones wouldn't want anyone painting him a certain way either. But at the same time, he's like, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm saying how I feel. And this is on top of a beef that's been simmering for a minute. You've got Jim Jones, Fab, and Dame Dash on one side, and 50 Cent floating around all of that. That alone is a whole conversation. The tension didn't start yesterday. It's been brewing since late 2024 when 50 popped up on Cam's Talk with Flea Show, and Jim Jones' name came up. Jim didn't respond immediately. He waited until January 2025 when he went on the Respectfully Just the L-Boy show. That's when things really went nuclear. After that, Cam and Jim started trading shots back and forth. Then Jim fired again. Then 50 jumped back in. And ever since, it's been back and forth between Jim and 50. Then you had the Yo situation recently, which poured even more gasoline on the fire. That kicked off another round. Now we're seeing songs dropping, subs flying, posts getting reposted. I already knew Cam was going to respond eventually. I knew that for sure. Cam said he wasn't planning to address the personal stuff anymore. But come on, this is hip-hop. We all know how it goes. And I'm almost certain Dame Dash will have something to say too. That's just how these personalities operate. And for me personally, I need to go back and watch that full interview again because I really love those conversations from that era. That energy, that history, that context, it always tells you way more than the headlines ever could. Just catching anything new or even something I might have missed about Rockefeller, the Dynasty era, always pulls me right back in. Then you throw in state property, and right after that, Dipset enters the picture. That whole Rockefeller era, that's when I was fully locked in. Everything dropping, every artist, every rollout, I was paying attention. I was literally just playing that joint the other day while someone was watching the video doing that Dame Dash bounce. Everybody was feeling it. And Beyonce rocking that Mac Mitten shirt, that right there was a moment. That era really meant something to me. The state property movies, Paid in Full, all the albums, all the mixtapes, Dipset's impact was insane.
State Property's impact was just as heavy. They had me going back, replaying tracks I hadn't touched in years. I threw on that Beanie Sigel album again, the one with him and Young Chris. I couldn't stop there. Then I went back to the Wanted album with Beanie. Then Cam dropped his project with Jay-Z. I was just letting him ride back to back, replaying that whole time like it was nothing. I really sat there soaking in those moments, bro. And during that same era, the clips were coming out, shaking everything up. Other artists were going wild too. G-Unit was still on a crazy run. It just takes me back to a major time in my life. A time when I loved getting new albums, reading every magazine cover, checking liner notes, just being a kid loving the culture. That's why I'll always be a fan of that era. That feeling doesn't go away. Now, as far as Dame, I literally just covered him last week. He's 50 with that whole $100 business sales situation. Stuff happens, that's life. And Dame, you already know how he is. He's gonna pop off regardless. But I'll never downplay Dame's influence in this game. A lot of what he was preaching back then was ahead of his time. And that one Dame Dash clip on the tour bus, forever legendary. Where he says it should never be just one person in your crew, everybody has to be on, so if one falls, the rest can still stand. That's a real gem. Dame dropped a lot of gems over the years, so salute to Dame Dash. All of them had music I rocked with at some point. All of them left a mark, but right now, they are at odds. Capital C's everywhere. And you already know 50 Cent is gonna jump right into it. He loves controversy, chaos, confusion, conflict, and confrontation. That's his lane. He keeps the algorithm fed on confrontation. And now, we add two more capital C's to the mix, Curtis and St. Curtis Jackson. 50. Thanks for reading, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel.